Hello, welcome back to another video. I feel like I've not posted like just a normal workout on my channel in ages. Like I think the last one I posted was when the gyms were still open in the UK. That was like months and months ago. So today's video is going to be a quad and glute focused lower body workout. If you've got dumbbells, use those as a substitute. Wherever I've used a bar, wherever I've used a weight, use what you've got available to you. And if you have no weights at all, make yourself a weight. Make yourself a weighted bag. Grab a bag, put some heavy-ish objects in it. Yeah, you absolutely do not need to have the barbell or anything to do this workout, but yeah, it's very home friendly and also very gym friendly. You will just need to adapt certain things to suit you, and the fact that I do have such decent weight but minimal equipment from home means that this is a very minimal equipment workout. So if you are just getting back into the gym or just getting into the gym in the first place, if you're lucky enough to be training somewhere where the gyms are open, or if you're from the UK and you're waiting for the gyms to reopen and you're looking to get into training, it's also a really good workout for like gym anxiety, because you're not going to have to do loads of moving around. It's literally very, very minimal equipment. There's no machines. You don't have to stress about working out how to use this, that and that. So yeah, it's very, very friendly as a workout. Love that the kids next door are shouting at each other. That's really, really helpful, guys. Thanks for that. First off, I want to put this clip in right at the start of the video so that you are all aware of what is going on in the month of March, because I know that people tend to like start a video and then they'll skip it to when the actual workout starts. I get it, I do it myself. But yeah, I did this in November, I believe, or October. Actually no, it was October, for Alzheimer's Society, where basically I donated all of the AdSense to charity, and I'm doing that again for the month of March, which means that any video that I upload this month, every single penny of the AdSense on that video is going to be donated to charity. Ironically, I can't actually name the specific charity in this video because I think it will get demonetized, but I will leave it linked in the description box. I don't know if that's going to get the video demonetized. I just know there's certain words that YouTube just don't like and they will demonetize the video, so I'm treading on eggshells here. But yeah, I decided on International Women's Day to put up an Instagram story to just let everyone know that I had decided that I wanted to donate all my March AdSense to this charity. They do really, really important work, and considering the events that have gone on over the past few days, it feels even more important to do this now and basically just raise some money for a charity which does a lot for women, and focuses on really supporting women that have had acts of violence committed against them. And yeah, it's just something that I think is really, really important to raise awareness about, to be educated on, and just a very, very worthy cause to donate some money to. So yeah, if you are watching this video, please don't skip the ads. I skip the ads on videos I watch. I'm not berating anyone for doing it, but please watch the ads if you do get them all the way through. Or if there's any of my content that you think you would like a refresher on, I've got my glute series, I've got all my Alphalete hauls, all of that is pretty monetized. So yeah, if you would like to go and watch any of those videos, that would be very, very helpful this month, because that AdSense will still go towards this month even though the video wasn't uploaded in this month. My what I eat in a day have a very, very high CPM, I think it's called, so please go and watch those as well. But as always with my workouts that I post on YouTube, I'm going to insert the clips and then a voiceover over the rest of it, which will just go through the form tips that I think are really, really important, some little pointers on getting more glute activation, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, a quad and glute focused workout. One thing I just want to mention very, very quickly, not that it really matters, but I do like to film some of my workouts real-time sort of thing, my actual sessions, the actual way I use, because I know from feedback I've been given on Instagram and YouTube that people find it more motivational to watch, and they prefer watching those videos over the ones where it's me using like much lighter weights and doing demos and stuff like that. So I just want to note very quickly, this was my actual training session, but for the squats and lunges I had to just do those as demo clips because I'm training from home, and the squat rack that I have at home is actually in the extension, which is what we got built for my gran basically, and there's not a lot of room in there. So I was trying to prop the camera up, but I'm not gonna lie guys, we were getting some seriously dodgy angles. It was way too close up and you just couldn't see what I was doing, and it was poor quality clips, so I decided just to scrap that, get on with my workout, complete it, and then at the end come back and film the squats and the lunges so that you guys can see the form in all its glory and I can give you the tips. Got my laptop and I'm just going to voice over it. Enjoy. Okay, so starting off the workout with a compound move, I've gone with barbell back squats here. Absolutely love them. Stance wise, you are going to want your feet to be just past shoulder width apart. At the top of the movement, make sure you're not sticking your bum out loads. You want to make sure that it's one clean movement, and when you break into the squat, you're breaking at the hips and the knees simultaneously. Then you want to drive the weight upwards. I'm doing these with a slower tempo here and really focusing on the eccentric part of the movement. So moving on to banded barbell hip thrusts, and I'm doing these in 1 1/4 reps, which basically means 1 full rep, you come down 1/4 of the way, go back up, and that is 1 rep complete. So it's 1 1/4 within 1 rep. I'm sure you all understand that. With the band, it's just above my knees, and something I really want to focus on here, as well as just giving you general tips for hip thrusts, is briefly touch on when you are using bands in your workouts. There's nothing wrong with using a resistance band in your workout. For most of them, if you're doing a lower body workout with a hip circle, that's what I'm talking about here really, the shorter resistance bands, you're going to want to put it just above your knees. So the first issue that I see happening quite a lot is that people let the band make their knees cave inwards. Your knees need to be facing forwards and not like buckling inwards. The point of a resistance band is to add extra resistance to a move. Now if you are letting that band's resistance push your knees inwards, it's pretty redundant, and actually your form is going to suffer in that way. So in that kind of a case, you would be better either just completely omitting the band or going for a lighter resistance band that you can actually maintain the resistance out against the band, and basically just make sure that it's not making your knees cave inwards. If your knees are caving inwards, just get rid of the band. It will be much more beneficial to you to just do it without the band. Second thing I always see with hip thrusts when it comes to adding a band in is the band preventing people from getting a full range of motion, because it does add that extra little bit of resistance. If it's too heavy of a band or you are just struggling with the movement in general, what's going to happen is you'll get to the top of the movement and you'll notice that your reps are stopping shy of a full lockout at the top. Again, in this scenario, the best thing to do is to either opt for a lighter resistance band, say you've got a medium one, go with a light one if you still want to use it, or again, omit the band completely. Bands are great, there's nothing wrong with bands. I love adding in a band to a movement just to make it a little bit more difficult, but they're not 100% necessary. And if you find that your form actually starts slipping when you start introducing bands, I would recommend that you just either go for a lighter band or scrap the band completely. Then just to go into the general tips for a hip thrust, so in terms of the bench setup, the step setup, whatever it is that you are using to hinge off of, you're going to want it to be hitting around where the bottom of your bra strap would hit. If you're wearing a sports bra, that's a really good way to gauge this. And basically you want the main motion to be coming from the sternum downwards. Foot stance, you're going to want your feet to be just past shoulder width apart, and basically so that when you are at hip extension, when you are at the top of the movement, you're making a 90-degree angle with your shins. If it's over 90 degrees, you're going to find that you are recruiting a lot more of your hamstrings, and if it's under, you'll get a bit more quad engagement. So the perfect stance to get the most glute engagement is to have it at that 90-degree angle. So always check that when you are setting them up. You can do a couple of reps body weight only just to make sure that you have got the stance correct. Chin needs to stay tucked throughout, and basically you want to imagine it's kind of like, Chrissy Chella describes it like this, and it's a really good way of describing it, which is just to think of it as a scooping motion and to think of your pelvis as like a little ice cream scooper. So at the bottom of the movement, and I would never really recommend a duck ass in any kind of movement at all, but basically you want to be moving from an anterior pelvic tilt at the bottom to a posterior pelvic tilt at the top, so like an ice cream scoop with your pelvis and your hips. I hope that helps. I've gone a little bit more in depth with the bands and the hip thrust form there, so yeah, let me know if you find those tips useful. I'm gonna get back into the workout now, I promise. So moving on to barbell reverse lunges, you want your knee to stay in line with your foot, and what I mean by this is it's not wobbling. It's not wobbling all over the place. Basically, it's not caving inwards, it's not going outwards. You can run into some knee issues, so just make sure that you are nice and stable in the movement, bringing that non-working leg backwards and behind you. And depending on what you're wanting to engage, you're either going to want to push through your heel, or you are going to want to push through the ball of your foot at the front. If you want more glute engagement, you will want to be pushing through the heel of your foot, and if you want more quad engagement, you are going to want to be pushing more through the ball of your foot, the front area. What's also going to make a difference with your reverse lunges in terms of what you're recruiting more of is how wide of a stride you take backwards. The wider the stride you take backwards, the more glute engagement you are going to get, and the narrower stride you take backwards, the more quad engagement you're going to get. It's a quad and glute workout. It's up to you which kind of a stance you want to take on that, but yeah, they're just some little tips when it comes to lunges. Moving on to one of the hardest at-home exercises you can do, which is a poor man's leg extension. What you want to do here is really brace your core and really engage your glutes to hold your hips and your upper body basically in a streamlined and straight up position. And from that point, what you want to do is you want to lean back as far as you can and then push yourself upwards using your quads. What you don't want to do is come back into it and almost squat down and bend at the hips into the movement. You want to keep your torso nice and straight and basically come from here and lean back into it as much as you can before your hips start to break. When your hips start to break, that's when you want to push yourself back up using your quads. This is such a difficult bodyweight only exercise for your quads, and if you've not tried it, you absolutely must, because it's so difficult. Whenever I put this in people's plans, when I'm coaching them, everyone underestimates this. They're like, how hard can it be? So yeah, definitely give that a go if you are struggling for home workout inspo when it comes to your quads, or even if you're in the gym and you want to give yourself a challenge and switch it up from like using the leg extension machine. Honestly, such a challenging move, but so rewarding when you eventually nail it. Moving on to frog pumps. So froggy stance with your feet, keeping your legs open and your feet basically facing each other, basically high-fiving each other. And then basically the form tips are pretty much just what I would give for a glute bridge. There are some slight differences, so like I said, with the stance, that's different. And also what I like to do when I'm doing frog pumps is try and keep my chin gazing forward and keep my chin tucked, just because I find that actually I get more glute engagement when I do it that way. And something that can be very, very helpful with helping with this, rather than just relying on your neck helping to keep your chin tucked forwards, is actually using something like a Bosu ball. Is that what they're called? I haven't used one in ages because I've been training at home for so long, but a Bosu ball or a pillow, or basically just something to prop your head up to keep that chin gazing forwards. I do find that I get more glute engagement when I do that. Frog pumps seem to be a polarizing exercise. Some people really feel them and some people don't at all. I didn't used to feel them at all until I realised that I needed to actually try keeping my chin tucked and keeping that gaze forwards. That was a game changer for me, and now they're one of my favourite glute exercises. This is a superset, and it's supersetted with lateral band walks. So like I spoke about with the hip thrust, it's really, really important when you're doing this kind of banded work that you're not letting the band make your knees cave inwards. As soon as that happens, you are giving in against the resistance of the band and it's being made redundant. So you need to make sure that your shins are staying vertical and that you are keeping pushing out against the band throughout. It's not letting your knees cave inwards. For me personally, I just like to do 2 steps either way, but everyone's different. I know that some people like to do it across the whole room. There's no real reason behind me doing it 2 each way. It's just to do with 1, the size of my living room, 2, it just seems to be the way that I like to do it. I find if I do the whole length of a room, I'm actually just too exhausted to do the other side sort of thing. So yeah, that's what I do with my lateral band walks. I do 2 one way, 2 the other. So yeah, that is the full workout. One thing you will always notice with my workouts is I don't have like 8, 9, 10 exercises in a session. All that happens when you start adding loads and loads and loads of moves into your sessions, being in the gym for hours on end doing them, is the quality of your sessions is going to decrease always pick quality over quantity. If you are doing such lengthy sessions with lots and lots of exercises, there is no way that you are going to be able to perform to the best of your ability on those exercises, because your body will just be absolutely knackered. It's better to cut down how many exercises you're doing in a session and actually focus on giving those moves your all and working really, really hard and progressively overloading, rather than throwing a load of exercises into one workout and just battering yourself essentially. Yeah, if you are someone who currently does a lot of exercises in the gym, who has very, very lengthy sessions, and you find yourself struggling to progress, I would definitely recommend just taking a look at your training, tapering things down a notch, just bring it down a notch, knock a couple of exercises off and just focus on getting really, really good quality sets in rather than quantity. But yeah, that's the full workout. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you wanna and you haven't already. Any questions, leave them down below and I will get back to you. Follow me on Instagram because I'm super, super active on there. I'm annoying as hell on my stories every single day on that app. So actually you might not want to follow me, but if you do want to follow me, then go for it. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that video here. Let me know what other videos you want to see. Yeah, goodbye.